Once again, the UK motorist is under attack, with the government to raise more money from the hard-earned UK motorists. And not only just motorists, even passengers could be affected this time. We're going to talk about the proposals on the table of scrapping classic car tax, insurance premium tax rises, and a 20% taxi tax on your next fare. So don't miss this one. Hey all, welcome back to the Car UK channel. Right, I thought today we'd sit down for 10 minutes and go through some of the proposals being made that the UK government is seriously looking at introducing in the next autumn budget, which is going to affect not only you good honest UK motorists, but also passengers potentially as well. As mentioned, classic car tax, that looks like it's going to be scrapped again. Taxi tax, so basically a 20% levy on your taxi fares. And also, rumours circulating of a potential insurance premium tax rise, which will affect everybody's insurance, whether you've got a car policy, a commercial van policy, even a motor trade policy like me, is affected by insurance premium tax rises. And it's something that doesn't always get talked about when it happens, but insurance premium tax has raised a huge amount over the last 15, 20 years. And it won't surprise me if it was risen again, and it will cost you a lot more money next year if that is introduced on your car insurance and van insurance, or any insurance product for that matter. Now, let's start off first with the big one, which is the classic car tax being removed from classic car owners once again, because this is not the first time this has happened. So let me give you a brief outline to this. So, as it stands currently, if you own a classic car and it's over 40 years of age, that is currently around 1985 C-Reg, registered before the 1st of January. I think it's C-Reg, I'll stand corrected if it is and put it in the comments. Then you don't have to pay road tax. You are completely exempt, you pay zero road tax. Now, Britain historically has always had some form of historical car tax where you get to a certain age, it becomes free. And that was the case up until about 1997, when the previous Labour government, New Labour, came in and decided to get rid of it. No one understands quite sure why they did it, but they decided to get rid of it. And it basically got rid of the old system, which actually was a bit more generous in fairness. That was any vehicle over 25 years of age was exempt. At the time, I think it was 1973 backwards. Bear in mind, it was in 1997 when it was cancelled. So that was put it at 1973 backwards, was exempt. However, any vehicle after that date, from 73 onwards, would no longer be exempt because it was a rolling year-on-year scheme. Like I said, that went, and organisations such as the AA and all sorts of classic car organisations out there lobbied government for many, many years to have a form of car tax, historical car tax, reintroduced. And it was reintroduced in 2015. Now, it didn't go back to the old system. It was changed slightly. It went up to 40 years from 25 years, so a massive jump. But it was something at least, and so it recognised what the contribution that classic car owners make. And it is big. But the government decided that it wants to get the revenue, and there's probably a moral argument, you could say, that everyone should pay some form of road tax. Bear in mind, this year we've also just got rid of the free road tax ban, so effectively now everybody pays some form of road tax, so maybe there is an argument there. But the whole reason why there was an exemption in the first place, and why it was reintroduced in 2015, was because actually, although it could raise up to 100 million, and I'll take that figure with a pinch of salt because it makes the assumption that all these cars that would now become eligible to pay road tax at around £200 a year would all be taxed for a year outright. It's not accurate numbers because most classic cars are not on the road for that period. Most are only used during the summer or, maybe a few months of the year, and most would pay by direct debit. So I think that figure of 100 million is way off. I don't think you get anywhere near that. But the classic car sector, on the flip side, roughly attributes about £4 billion a year to the UK economy. And that's the reason why that we've always had this status, because it feeds into that. It's basically encouragement, and it basically creates more income into the economy directly than the tax would actually raise. That's the theory behind it. There'll be lots of arguments for and against it, but it's not going to go down well. I'll tell you that for sure. It's not going to go down well at all. For the amount of money that I think it will end up raising, which is going to be quite minimal in the grand scheme of things of what Rachel Reeves is going to have to look to bring in over the next year or so, this big 50 billion black hole or whatever she's got. I just think it's going to piss a lot of people off for very, very little gain. And if it affects the contribution from the sector into the economy anyway, there might not be any gain to be given from it. So it's a bit of a shot in the foot in my view, but others will disagree, I'm sure. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Is it likely to happen? Yes, I think it probably is likely to happen. I mean, I'll stand corrected. Hopefully I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong because I don't want it introduced. But I think it will happen because Labour, as I said, has done this before. They've got form of getting rid of a historical classic tax in the UK, or the exemption, sorry. So it is likely to happen in my view. Let me know your thoughts, like I said, in the comments on that one. Are you for it, keeping the exemption, or are you against it? Do you believe that, like you said before, morally everyone should pay something? I want to hear your thoughts. Right, moving on to the next one that looking at is the taxi tax. Now this one come out of nowhere, and to be honest with you, I'm quite surprised at this because this is really, really controversial, and I can't see anyone wanting to support this. It just really is just a direct tax. There is no benefit at all. Unlike the classic car tax there, where you could argue that someone to pay something, this has got no benefit to anybody, which is just basically putting up your fares by 20%. Now, it's being targeted at private hire vehicles only. I think it's basically to do with the fact that hackney carriages, I'm sure have to pay VAT in their fares, whereas self-employed private hire firms do not. So there's always been that sort of exemption there, but it's always been there. And what the government's trying to do is, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, trying to find ways of raising money. And it's looked at this and thought, well, actually, you could argue that taxi drivers in London are paying 20% more for their fares than the rest of the UK. Let's just reintroduce it across the base where everybody pays a 20%. And that makes it more fair. I'm sure that's how they'll spin it. But the reality is, it's just going to put your fares up by 20% for everybody outside of London. And I don't think that's fair. It's just a grab, not only on taxi drivers, because obviously it's going to affect them as well, because their fares are going to be more. So people might decide to take other forms of transport instead of taxis, like buses, or even just decide to walk in some cases if it's just a short distance. So I think it's a real own goal. Plus, it's going to affect the NHS as well. About £400 million a year is spent by the NHS on taxi services and councils as well. So it's going to affect them. So I really don't see, for the money it will generate, and it will be a decent sum it will probably generate, the amount of pain it will cause to people, I think, will outweigh any sort of net benefit that you'll get from it. Again, I just think it's a silly, silly proposal, and it's going to go down really, really badly, I think, with the UK population. I can't see anyone who wants to support this. If I'm missing something here, please tell me. I said, because I can't find any positives whatsoever, unless you're a taxi driver in London, maybe. That's really it. I can't see any positives for the rest of the UK population having to pay an extra 20% to get in a private hire taxi. But for what I think it's worth, I think it's bonkers. Absolute bonkers. And the third one, right, insurance premium tax. Now, there's only some rumours going around about this. There's not too many articles on this one. There's plenty of articles on the other two subjects we just talked about there. But there are rumours circulating of an insurance premium tax rise. Now, I hope this doesn't get introduced. It's of no benefit to anybody, an insurance premium tax rise, other than the government, because it's just a direct tax on insurance premiums. But it would not surprise me if it has risen in the autumn statement, because as mentioned before, she's in a right mess, Rachel Reeves. She's got to find revenue from somewhere. New taxations, like I said there, private hire, for example, or existing taxes, which don't generate anywhere near as much as VAT, general VAT rate, income tax and corporation tax, national insurance, etc. So she's got to go after something. So she's looking at things outside the box. I don't think she'll hit stamp duty because 5% is enough already. But insurance premium tax is one that does generate quite a lot of income and largely gets really underreported. It doesn't really get mentioned too much because it does affect the UK motorist. Now, to give you some context on this, in early 1997, the rate of insurance premium tax in the United Kingdom was 2.5% for the standard rate. As of today, it's 12.5%. And it's gone up considerably over the last 10 or 15 years. In fact, since 2011, it has risen 4 times from 6% to 12.5%. And the rumours circulating around that it could go up to as much as 15% in this budget. Like I said, these are only rumours. I hope it doesn't happen because of no benefit to anybody. Their insurance premiums next year going up by the standard 2.5%. And you can bet your bottom dollar when you go and renew your insurance, you'll get the old, oh, it's gone up this year because of insurance and premium tax and the cost of stuff and blah, blah, blah. It'll just be used as a get out of jail for insurance companies who love putting your premiums up anyway. So let's not give them an excuse by giving them another 2.5% they've got to pass on to their customers, on top of their own increases, which they'll introduce as well. So it's not looking particularly rosy at the moment for the UK motorist at all, or passengers for that matter. And I really do hope, as mentioned before, that none of these policies are introduced. I don't see any benefit to them whatsoever. Just the government deciding that they're going to find a way of extracting more money from the hard-working people of the United Kingdom any way they can, because they themselves have tied themselves up in knots by saying we're not going to touch national insurance, we're not going to touch income tax, we're not going to touch VAT. So because they've tied their hands on that, the three biggest income generators in the United Kingdom, and they've got a big black hole. Because they've tied themselves up, they're going to have to start messing around and introducing new types of levies and taxes and basically cranking up anything they can to get more money out of us. And I think it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I think, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, but the UK motorist pays enough as it is, and it shouldn't be paying anything else or being targeted for additional tax revenue, because the government has effectively committed itself to pre-election promises, which is now coming back and biting them in the arse. It's not fair. So anyhow, I'm sure you've got opinions on all three of those subjects, so I want to hear what you've got to say. Get yourself in the comment section. I want to hear all different types of opinions for and against on any of those subjects today. Maybe you've got your own ideas on how Mrs. Reeves can get some more money into the UK Exchequer. I'd like to hear those ideas as well, so get in that comment section, get typing away, and also as well, click on that like and subscribe button for me. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. I do greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Trying to get up to the 100,000 subscriber mark. We are very nearly there. So if you can help and support me by doing that, it is greatly appreciated. So thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.